Gill Deacon is a Canadian broadcaster who is determined to remain green for life. Environmental issues are a top concern. She writes about it in her books and her articles. She is a breast cancer survivor, one who takes the toxins issue to heart. Her last book was There's Lead in Your Lipstick. Today she walks us through our homes from kitchen to bath to talk about toxins in our haciendas. It is my pleasure to welcome Gill Deacon back to Studio 4 to tell us more.
Thank you, Fanny. It's always so nice to be here.
Well, nice to see you again. I should add that you're also a journalist, not just a broadcaster, because you were a TV host, and
yes.
Not today, but maybe in the future.
You know, if the fates so dictate, we'll see what happens.
No kidding. In this biz, you just don't know what's coming next.
You never know. I just keep working on stuff that matters to me and see where it leads me.
Sure. Like the Global Cooling Society. What is that?
Oh, that. You read my old website. For a while, I was trying to think of a way to engage people in my community to get them to care about issues that I knew they would care about if they could just think about it. So, and we tried to make, a group of us got together with the same desire to try to make environmentalism cool.
Yes.
And so we'd have these social gatherings where we'd have celebrity chefs talking about organic food, or we'd have sort of great musicians talking about some issue. So it'd be sort of the cocktail party fun quotient.
Right, what a great idea.
This great
organic
educational
wine.
aspect to it. So,
of course,
yes.
Organic wine,
but
yes.
the Global Cooling Society went the way of...
It went south?
Yes, it was too cool for itself, I guess.
Too cool.
Yeah, it went south.
Detoxing your body is cool too, and you've done that, and you write about how many chemicals we ingest every single day.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, we, as we've talked about before, the idea of assuming that because something is on a store shelf here in Canada, where we have strong government and safe, we think we have safe regulatory agencies looking out for us. So by the time something's made it onto a store shelf in my neighborhood, it must be okay, must be fine. But it's actually not legally required for a company to test the human safety of a chemical or an ingredient in a product before it's introduced to the marketplace.
Well, who knew?
Well, exactly.
And you said last time that if you are slathering a lotion all over your body, read the label. The simpler label is the better.
Yes. I mean, it's just common sense that the chemical ingredients, the more of them there are, and the more unrecognizable and unfamiliar to you they are, the more your body's going to be affected by them. And what we're seeing now, as you mentioned, I'm a cancer survivor. I was sailing along, eating organic and running and being a vegetarian and doing all the things I thought were the picture of health. And that's not an uncommon tale anymore. It's all these healthy young women being diagnosed with breast cancer. So
yes,
what's
or
the missing
other
piece?
cancers.
Or other kinds of cancer. So since then, I take this research very seriously, which is now linking all these mystery ingredients, no longer so mysterious actually, being linked to really serious health concerns, not just cancer. Things like headaches, dizziness, skin rashes, dermatitis, things that we sort of, well, I guess my body just is like that. But we don't trace it back to what we're exposing ourselves to in our homes every day.
Sure, in our homes and in the bathroom and the kitchen and all of that.
Right.
And when we're wearing the shirt that comes out of the laundry and we start to itch, we should ask a question for sure.
Exactly.
So take me into the kitchen.
Okay. Well, because that's the idea of this sort of Earth Month, is there are ways, whether you have a health concern or not, everybody wants to shrink their eco footprint and reduce their chemical exposure. So the kitchen's one of the easiest places to start. It's where we spend a lot of our time. So a simple trick, which I'm all about, is taking a jug of water and leaving it in the refrigerator all the time. You can drink from it if you choose, so that you have nice cool water ready to go, but you don't even have to do that. You just leave it in the fridge, and it helps. You've heard that it's better energy efficiency to keep a fridge or a freezer full of stuff as opposed to an empty sort of bachelor's fridge with two tins of
pizza boxes
in it.
Yes.
So the more that's in your fridge, the less work your fridge has to do to maintain that temperature. So it's that principle. With a jug of water, just leave it in there all the time, and it'll help stabilize the temperature so that your fridge has less work to do
Even with
less
the new
energy to guzzle.
Sub-Zeros and the fancy fridges and the eco fridges.
It's just the basic principle of how every time you stand there with the door open, which is another eco no-no, think about what you want in the fridge, then open the door to get it, as I'm trying to teach my teenage son.
I get it. Yeah, my fridge talks to me. It beeps if the door
is open too long. Well, that's
it does
helpful.
the little beep, beep,
So it's that
beep.
same principle. It just has to do more work to keep the temperature, to get the temperature back down.
In the future, the fridge will probably start to talk out loud, say a sentence, you know, get back and close the door now. But you're talking about water, no lid. That's the idea.
Yeah, just a jug of water like that.
Just a jug of water. Because we have
Absolutely.
Brita filters and things like that in our fridges, but they're covered, so it really has to be open water.
No, it doesn't have to be open
it doesn't?
water. Nope, if you have a jug like that, that works too.
Oh, so
but that's you're being emptied all the time.
My science is off, so it's just the fact that it's in there and it gets cold.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And sort of holds that temperature.
Okay.
And then the other aspect of the kitchen, of course, is the chemical exposure. You know, your kids are eating off. We're all eating off the counters, off the cutlery. What are you using? What kind of chemicals are you using to clean your floors, to clean your dishes, and clean your counters? So I choose products that are. I mean, we've got here today. We've got 7th Generation, which is a company that really puts its money where its mouth is in terms of environmental practices. They, like me, think about the big picture and the future of the planet, the future 7 generations. That's what the title refers to. So I, especially since I was sick, I'm very careful which companies I support, and so that I know and can trust what ingredients are in them. And this is a company that voluntarily discloses the ingredients in every single one of their products because they have nothing to hide. So they're sort of plant-based. So that's the kind of thing you want to be cleaning with, is stuff that, again, it's plant-based. It's not petrochemicals that you can't...
Right, post-World War II, when petrochemicals were extremely popular.
Yes.
But you slap a chicken on the counter and you worry about salmonella, and then you think, I've got to do something. So the substance to use is vinegar.
Vinegar's great.
That's what they use in Europe.
Absolutely. Vinegar's excellent for pure sterilization, and lemon juice.
Right, but we are clean freaks, you know this.
I know.
Most North Americans are terrified of a germ anywhere, and my granny was the queen of bleach.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is that antibacterial hand washes and soaps and things that we're sort of obsessed with. You can't go anywhere in public, especially after SARS. You know, it's those hand sterilizers are everywhere. But those contain triclosan, which is a perfect example of thinking that we're doing the right thing in this germ-phobic time.
Right.
And actually what we're doing, the American Medical Association has done all this research showing that the best way to clean your hands and remove germs and stay healthy is to wash them with plain old soap and water.
A doctor told me that, because before they scrub, and I'm sure they use other things now, but they wash and wash and wash. You sing happy birthday. You don't just go rinse, gone. Like,
you have to get through the full round of happy birthday.
Get through the full round of happy birthday, and then your hands are clean.
To the preschoolers.
You know, but I mean, open the door with your elbow, and it does make sense that if your body learns to fight off something, it will remember how to do it the next time.
Well, that's the thing, is that triclosan is actually now linked to the superbugs, the viruses that antibiotics that are resistant to antibiotics. And doctors think that it's now linked to all this antibacterial stuff that we've been using.
So in your kitchen, what do you clean with? Vinegar, lemon juice,
I clean with
7th
these.
Generation.
Absolutely.
And what's in them?
And baking soda.
Baking soda.
I clean my windows with club soda sometimes. There's a cleaning spray here you can clean your windows with. It's
vinegar and water works.
Vinegar and water works.
Newspaper shines up. Maybe
newspaper
that's not
and club
good.
soda is good for windows. Yeah, sure.
Very
old
much
newspapers,
so. Very
absolutely.
gleamy old newspapers, because you have them anyway, and then you
Pulls the
recycle
dirt
them.
off. Yep.
I'm thinking. Okay, but it's just important to know. So now you're in the shower.
So now you're in the shower, and I guess the main thing about being eco-friendly in the shower is, of course, how much hot water are you using? As you said before we started, everybody loves a hot shower.
I know.
But you kind of have to, and because you get into a bit of a trance when you're in the hot shower, you can start to plan your day and daydream and plan whatever. So you have to set a timer, because otherwise you could just get lost in there, right? So have a timer in your bathroom. 5 minutes is the goal, and when you
There
hear
you
that,
go.
it's time to get
How
out.
irritating.
It breaks the reverie, but some families with, did I mention teenage boys?
Oh, them. Yes.
Yes, I have
the boys
some of
who drink
those.
out of the milk cartons in the fridge, those boys who leave the
And
door
stand
open.
in the shower for
stand in the
25
shower
minutes and you're stomping
forever.
on the floor to get them out. Those guys, you may want to start with the 8 minutes and then work it down to 7. But it really is sort of gluttony.
Right.
Jennifer Aniston, it is reported, showers her perfect dew in 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes.
I issue
you
a
see?
challenge.
And I shower my perfect dew in 2.
Oh, well, there you go. A new standard
See,
has
so
been
I'm
set.
right there, and I get the conditioner on and everything.
Gauntlet dropped.
Of course, but now you have to think about it, because what's in the conditioner, what's in the shampoo, what are you putting on your scalp? I
Right.
mean, we talked last time, I think, about henna, about hair dye.
Yes.
What's in it?
Well,
All of
henna is
that.
a plant-based product. It's totally safe way to dye your hair.
I would think.
But nothing
other-
else is safe to dye your hair. But you
Yay,
know,
yay.
you make your choices. You don't want to be, as I may have said this to you last time, I don't want people to be riddled with, some people say to me, I read your book and I'm just in a
Right.
state of anxiety about all the chemicals in my bathroom. And I say, that's not really the point. You know, it's not about, it's about finding manageable solutions that work for you,
Sure.
where you can, choosing safer plant-based ingredients, supporting good companies where you can. But if you still want to dye your hair, try
Right,
and find
and the
it.
advertisers get us, I know, because they have clean, green, beautifully scented pine soap. But it may not be clean, green, beautifully scented. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Well,
you have to work through that.
That's what I call greenwash. And it's funny, you know, just this week, the New York Times reported that this environmental group of mostly sort of women's group, mothers groups in the U.S. has done testing on a Tide laundry soap that's marketed for, you know, the gentle, baby-friendly soap, and it's found to contain problematic levels of 1,4-dioxane, which is a probable carcinogen. Like, it's a really serious cancer concern, this chemical. And it's in these products that are being billed as appropriate for babies and
Sure.
families. So you really do have to be careful with the language on the package doesn't mean
I get it, and
a
I know
darn
we
thing.
overwash and overlotion our babies. Our baby skins are naturally okay,
right.
and we're rubbing and
Imagine that
touching and
before the 1950s, when we invented all these chemical baby products, babies actually survived.
right.
And, were
And if the
clean
baby
and
had baby rash, you took their little diaper off and put them outside in
in
the
the
sun. Of course,
sunshine.
now we can't put them in the sunshine for too long. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's complicated.
It is
Jill
complicated.
Deacon, our guest. There's lead in your lipstick. Her last book, Toxins in Our Everyday Body Care and How to Avoid Them. Now she's going into our homes.